So let's begin with this critical question. If you decide to keep your academic qualification aside, what else can you do to earn a living? More critical is this question: what if life challenges, management decisions, or other external factor renders your academic qualification ineffective? What else can you do to earn a living? This is today's live on Equa Television International. I'm glad you could join us. Today I have Sambo Solomon, Jemima, and Prudence Brugda. Why did I have to think of your name?
Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
I can feel the silence, not just here,
Mm.
but even outside the studio.
Sure.
People trying to think of, if you decide to keep your academic qualification aside, what else can you do to earn a living? Today is Thursday. We talk about education, and our topic is beyond the curriculum. We all know that our educational system generally is guided by curriculum. So it guides the teachers or the schools on what to teach you, how far they can go. But usually after school, when you go to the wider world, when you face realities, there are things you see and you're like, but they didn't teach us in school. But they didn't teach us. They didn't tell us. You are there to face reality. So let's begin on this note. If you decide to keep your educational qualification aside, what else can you do to earn a living? And I asked the second question: if life challenges, management decisions, external factors renders your academic qualification like not a requirement, what else can you do to earn a living?
This is a sensitive question. Like you said, you could feel the silence when you asked the question earlier. From here, extended to the other part of the world.
And some people are already
Y-
carrying
yeah.
pen and paper. Some are thinking of their life.
Because the curriculum has boxed most of us in such a way that we're being caged, so to say. That man failed to understand his capacity, like beyond the curriculum. Like you are just more like we're being stereotyped in such a way that some people sit down and design and said, this is how we are going to design these people. We are going to stereotype these people, because if we allow them go outside this, even us, they are doing this for a purpose, we're in trouble. Most cases, that's what happened. So they try to deny you, so to say, deny you access to certain key information about what you are doing and how you can do it better than even the person that is introducing you to. So even from the original plan, they have already have an idea of how they want you to be. Because if you look at the idea of the colonial masters, the reason why they allow us to go to school is because to help them with reading and writing. Keeping record, rather. Let me put it that way. Most cases.
Which is good.
You understand? No, but it's beyond
Your
that.
ability to read and write.
Yeah, it's good. But it's beyond that. That's the point.
Okay.
It's not that it's not good. But it's beyond that. If you are here, you colonize us, then I think you should give us that information that makes you to try. If you say you are coming here to pack tin, which they make just Plateau State what it is, because pond are being scattered everywhere because, the mining activities. You understand? Check the pond now. Yes, if you get the tin, what are you supposed to do? Well, we are supposed to be feeling the impact in Jos. Just supposed to be like a replica of London. If you ask me, yes. Because you pack the mineral for you to go and refine and make more money. You get it? So why can't you invest in the people? Imagine what you are taking the thing to go out there to do. You invest it here. So you get the point where I'm coming. It's just that you are being stereotyped. So at that moment, you are just to say, okay, this is how you will know this is the original thing. This is how to keep the kg. This is how, and it's just there. But how to refine it, how to export it, and things like that, you are being denied from that information. Some just like the question you asked, they have asked that question early enough, and they have getting the answer. That is why they are outside the box. So you will just see them like side by side with those people, but that's not the original idea. But it's because that those people have asked that question earlier, and they have tried to put themselves out and to go extra to learn even the mining. Can we do it ourselves? Can we find marketers? Can we export it? And that is why some few are into the business. But in the initial sense of it, that's not the original idea. So you see, it is good for us now to ask this question. Why? Because of the younger ones that are coming. So that you will not just make your mind like settle with this is the whole idea, but you have to ask, what is the even idea of the classroom? If you are going out there, why? If you are reading medicine, why are you reading medicine? And how do you want to practice? Do you want to do the normal practice, or you want to go outside the box because of what is obtainable now? So you see, this question, I would say, is timely, because it is good for us, particularly, like I always say on this show, you know, the pattern and the idea of education, even in Africa, is cramming. Just cram the book, and we are good to go.
Some people cram and they extend it, they put it to action.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, there are exceptional. That's why I said, yes, these people like take it outside the box, is that they realize early that that's not just enough. If you are saying this is what we do, we now believe in ourselves that we can do better. That's why you said, keeping the qualification aside, what else can you do? Some, they have the education, but it's not the education that is feeding them. The education does make them better to realize more of what they can do, and they are living well and they are doing good. So this question is timely, if you ask me. And I think, you know, people out there should start asking this question, and you have to sit down and be sincere to yourself by answering the question. Taking the qualification, the degree, the masters, the PhD, the whatever that now you are bragging with. Let's just say the government just declare that now certificate now is no longer
so recently I even had with
to any job and stuff,
you know, with
or
all
promotion. What else?
With all the saga about the Tinubu's certificate, the alleged forgery and all of that, someone was saying that his friend outside the country said most of the nurses that are already there, that they are going to subjected to some form of examination and all of that. It's more like we have an identity that we are tied to. Oh, you guys are, when you talk about corruption, when you talk about, and with the recent saga around certificate, so those that have been working or are already working with their certificate are going to be subjected to another examination to be sure that truly their certificate is really their own. So think about it, like you rightly say, that a policy comes up today and your certificate is invalid. What can you do to earn a living?
You see, the issue here now still lies on the fact that we have a very terrible, and you can quote me anywhere, terrible curriculum. It's like we have the, and we find that what they teach you 20 years down the road is similar, even if there's a difference. The difference is really slight to what they are teaching in the schools again right now, and it's like education is no longer evolving in the country, and you begin to wonder what is wrong. Why are things not moving, especially in the education system? And after you're done with that, you come out and you don't even you go to a camp and you can't believe what you're hearing from people who are said graduates. And you begin to wonder, did this person actually go to school? But you see, where where we have all gotten it wrong a lot of times is that when we go to school, you're too focused on the curriculum. Let the teacher come in and teach you in class while you are not digging deep for your own self to get the information that you really need. So you see that two people will go to school and you find two different results because one person invested himself into learning this thing, and because that's and there's another thing that a lot of times our passions are not being put into consideration in the curriculum that we have found ourselves using here in this country. It's like if you want to do the art, some people are just there to undermine you and make you feel like what you are venturing into is not relevant.
Mm.
So already you're growing with that mentality, and then people keep telling you, no, even if you're in arts class, you have to be a lawyer. That's the only part that makes sense in the arts, in the arts department. If you say you want to do things like, in fact, interest, no, like the mass communication is there is a certain form of level they look at it with, but growing up, I was always told that if you're doing mass communication, you're going to go and gossip on international television. That's by the way. But if you want to venture into art, you want to do financial art, for instance, fine art. I mean, you want to do fine art. You want to do what's the word? Theater arts. Those kind of arts, people have a certain kind of look that they give it here in the community we found ourselves. So your passion is not even really put into consideration. Is if you have set it in your heart and you have made it you've made it your personal game, your personal aim, your personal goal, that you're able to accomplish that because you find that there's no support from the system. And that's where the whole curriculum thing is really faulty. If it was that the curriculum was working and that all these things are being put into the consideration, then definitely you can go ahead with your curriculum and it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day there's results. But because we are not having results at the end of the day, and I mean tangible results, you have to go out and get it for yourself. And that's where determination comes in. As I've said earlier, education is something that you have to open your mind to. Learning is something that you have to open your mind to. You can't say that you want to be the greatest fashion designer, for instance, and the only thing that you are that you are putting your mind to is that, okay, I'm going to continue to go to this fashion house for like 6 months and I should be able to be done by then, but you're not putting in effort. When you come back home, you're just folding your arms and just watching. Okay, tomorrow again I'll go back, whatever my boss is doing, probably play around, and then, but you're not putting in your effort. If you've put in effort, you would gain results. So as much as the curriculum is important, and curriculum cuts across the four walls of a school to to where you're learning, even if it is art, handwork or art, whatever you're learning, it's still a curriculum. But the thing is, how much are you giving in to learn from the curriculum, and outside the curriculum, how much are you learning?
Okay, I feel if we're to drop our curriculum today, it's business. A lot of people would want to venture into one form of business or the other. But then the thing is, even if we don't drop the curriculum, what is the curriculum doing for us now? We all go to school, we take one form of course or the other. We take so many years. I think the least is 2 years, right? Diploma, degree, 4 years and above. We do all of that. We go through marathon, a lot of things that we do just to get, yes, irrelevant things that we do just to get the certificate. But then, what is it doing for us? After all of that, we come back and sit at home because there are no jobs. Even with the curriculum, a lot of people are already venturing into one form of business or the other. So imagine dropping the curriculum now. If only so much was given as part of the curriculum, I think it would have helped. We will not be looking at it like gold. You know, everybody, my result, my result. If they were to put your first class or your second class on your forehead, you would like it. But will it still give you a job? No. If they were putting so much into the curriculum, say in secondary school, you know, there was this subject that was on food and nutrition. It imaged some people, it molded some people to what they are today. You know, from the time you have no idea about cooking, you do a lot of cooking, you serve as if you're cooking for a president. Your pot has to be neat, everything you're presenting in a very good way. That is what brought about good chefs in this recent time now. That is what helped them. So imagine if they had brought out more of that kind of practical things, say in the handwork, craft, you know, hair making, just little sessions, little periods for this kind of things. It will have done a lot for us. We will not today be looking at white collar jobs like heaven. A lot of people, they don't even want to hear anything about business. They are waiting for that white collar job. They finished school years ago, but they are still waiting for that job. That is what the curriculum has done. And today we are looking at beyond the curriculum. Outside of it, what is it doing? We're always thinking of, you have to copy notes. There's a particular subject we copied notes, like there won't be tomorrow. Biology. We're drawing diagrams, pyrogyra, everything. But what has it done today? How many of that would you even remember? But if a lot of other things were imbibed into the curriculum, then today it will be held in high esteem, because aside the white collar job, it is giving you another food on the table. So you can as well have the white collar job and other things too.
Very true what you said. And about the notes, I'm not sure any of my notes were ever completed. I don't think I did. But that's by the way. The major issue here is that we have as Solomon earlier mentioned, we have a form of stereotyped mindset. It's like it's what they're teaching you in school alone that you will come and use outside, and what they're teaching you in school does not cover your social life. It does not cover how you interact with people. Not always does it do that. Depends on the kind of school you go to, and majority of the schools that you go to don't put that into their curriculums. You rarely, for some schools, even physical education is not really that important. You can find that the period for physical education, some people are just roaming around the school and doing nothing. There's no sports that they're trying to make you see the relevance of it. They're not teaching you the importance of getting something for yourself. Rather, they are telling you that you can be given everything on a platter of gold. There's a way that they as much as possible try to show you things like, if you need you're doing business in school, yeah. Sometimes you have to do courses like business business studies for the junior secondary, and they're not teaching you how to start doing trade from that point. Instead, they keep teaching you about petty cash books and all that. And that was one of my worst subjects, because I really was confused as to what am I doing with petty cash books. I'm not doing no business, and I'm not seeing how I'm going to come and implement these things outside the world. So you're not giving me scenarios, rather you're giving me things that I'm not sure I'm going to need it. If you want to teach me business, why don't you teach me in a scenario form? Like, give me a certain form of thing and say, okay, this is what I want you to do as a student. This product, I want you to go market it out for among your mates. Let's see how far you go. Let's see how you would do with this business. At the end of the day, you've taught me the petty cash book, and I'm going to use it to give you returns, and that's my assessment for the week. I've done something practical. She was saying if you could include things like the handwork. We did some of these things, and funny enough, for creative arts, there was a point in time they told us that you should do shoes. So we bought leather, we did shoe. But I promise you, I never wore that shoe because I could not, I did not, it did not make no sense. But that's for schools that even were interested in things like that and decided to put their students through it. And you can count schools that would invest in
Well,
that.
I want to really beg to differ from your points, like all of you. I saw how I watched and keenly listening how Prudence literally dragged our curriculum to the mud. But I can boldly say I'm doing what I'm doing today because I was guided by the curriculum. I'm privileged to be a professional teacher as well. I've seen curriculum different. I've taught primary school, even secondary school, and I think my service here was in a tertiary institution, and I had opportunity to also lecture, and I've seen the curriculum is like a guide, is a standard that helps you, gives instruction and on how you is comprehensive, is all encompassing. The only challenge we have is implementation. That's one. And who are the people that write or come up with the curriculum? The challenge we often have is that the implementers are not carried along when designing of the curriculum is being made, and that is why you always have issue with implementation. Secondly, our budget allocation for the implementation of the curriculum is low, and that is why you get what you get from your teachers, that's the implementers, while you have a very beautiful curriculum that will guide to the point of there are practicals, there are provisions for practicals and all of that, but the teacher is just left with just the textbook. Let's say, for example, the studio for the practicals. It was here we talk about how that you study mass communication. When it comes to audio production, you won't see the mics. You won't see why, because the standard production studio is not available for you. And what do you expect the teacher to do? He can't help it but just to teach you what is on the book. At that point, what you are left to do is, since you have the outline as the student, you should be able and willing to go the extra mile to learn more. We're saying beyond the curriculum, so you don't cage yourself to just what you are given. You should be able to understand that I also have a responsibility. I did that a lot in school. At some point I'm giving PDFs to just read and write exams, but I don't even understand, because these things are supposed to be practicals. What do? You go to YouTube, you watch videos, you check for all of these things, you see explanations, and you learn it. My problem with our system, while we try in terms of coming up, see, most of our documents, when you see them, they are beautiful. If implemented, Nigeria will not even be where it is today. But imagine the turnout of graduates that we have, yet most of them cannot even defend what they have on paper. Where do we get it wrong? Because we start shifting attention from productivity to certificate. And that was why I asked the question earlier on. If you are to drop your academic qualification, what else can you do to earn a living? See, most of our courses in school have the entrepreneurial part of it. Most of them have the skills part of it. It's not just about, you reading, writing exams. In communication, you have the camera operators. You do that with your hand. You have the editors. You do that. Is a skill. Somebody was asking, you studied mass communication. The assumption is that, you read news or you talk. And what's the skill part of it? There are people that are doing MCs. So even without your academic qualification, it has become a skill. You can do it. There are people that are DJs under the communication. Is a skill. So in that course that you're studying, what's the skill part of it? What have you been able to do? So because I've heard how people continue to complain, even students here complain about the school, the curriculum, they are not teaching us. See, when they talk about people that are standing out in terms of service outside this country, they are Nigerians. Where did they get their education? Most of them here. When you see top students that are being celebrated outside the country, where did they get their education? Here. But what are we missing? Where are we missing it? Because our attention is just, we caged our mind. We agree. We always talk about the fact that change begins, is in that your mindset. Like, the newness of your life is not dependent on the movement of the clock. It is the day or the time you decide to change how you think. So if the system is saying this is how it must be, you, based on the dynamic nature of the world, how do you want life to be for you? Would you cage yourself to the same thing that was done 10 years ago? Our curriculum is not stagnant, it's not static. It's always being revised like time to time. As things change, they go and work on it. So it is assumption that, oh, because the implementers now are not carried along, and some of them don't even get to have these documents. They don't even care to go to the ministry to say, okay, they want to get the new curriculum. Or because I've not been paid salary for 5 months, what's my business? Is what I can do, I'll just do and go there. So most of the problems we're having is with the implementer. Somebody that is a professor of business management does not even have a kiosk. Somebody that is teaching you how to write a business plan cannot write a business plan, but he will tell you the steps that you should take to do that. It was in this same country that we had about 9 months of ASU strike. What were the professors doing? Some of them had to turn their cars to cab, because at that point their certificate was more like invalid. That was why I asked earlier on that what if life challenges, management decision, what if it happens to you? The strike is one of it. At that point, you're a professor, you're a lecturer, but where would you lecture at that point in time? And you need to earn a living. Some of them had to turn their personal cars to cab so that they can earn a living. So the point for me is this: let's not restrict, let's not cage our mind to our curriculum alone, so that you don't keep blaming if the implementers, that's your teachers, don't give you all it takes. Why can't you just think of other means for you to acquire the knowledge, so we don't just remain in one place and keep blaming? You know, we always say the point of change is the point of taking responsibility. Why can't I be responsible for my life? Why should my teacher now be the one to take responsibility for my life? You understand? So productivity, I think most of the attention is just being put on certificate and not productivity. See, I said it on this platform that nobody cares about your effort. The world celebrates results. So whether you say, I tried it for 4 years, I did this, I spent 10 years, I did this. See, what have you been able? Is that same lecture that you received for 4 years that you're not doing anything with it, that another person received for the same year that the person is doing something with it? So can we take responsibility? Can we look beyond our curriculum? What can I do? There are people that study pharmaceutical science. Today, they are not working in a pharmacy. Some of them are driving for a particular company. Why did they get the job? The skills in driving. But unfortunately, the curriculum did not teach them, let's say, customer relation or some of the key things they need to learn. There are some of them that finish, and what they end up doing is being a salesperson in a pharmacy. And at that point, maybe they didn't have much education on business, customer relation, and all of that. So these are some of the things that you will not find in your own curriculum based on your course of study. So can you think beyond it? Because some people, it is after they finish the 4 years or 6 years that they realize that this is not where their calling is. It is in something else. So at that point, it is your thought beyond the curriculum that will stand for you. If I will graduate from pharmaceutical science and I will become a DJ, did I have anything about DJ in my curriculum in school? No. It is in my personal study. It is in me going out for knowledge outside the classroom that I got that skill, and today I'm a DJ. So people should be able to, like, free your mind. Don't cage yourself to the curriculum. Like I said, 20 children grew up playing together. For the rest of their life, they will not continue playing together. So be free, be open, identify what are you passionate about. It might be outside the curriculum, it's not in the curriculum. Why some people's success is tied to what they were taught in school. We have a lot of them that are doing great. They studied business management and they are doing very well with business. And then there are people out there, they are professors in English. They cannot even speak the English very well, but their head is thinking straight. So beyond that curriculum that you're being taught, what can you do? I know a medical doctor that is a makeup professional. I know one that studied is one of these science courses, but she ended up learning makeup, and then one of these biggest cosmetic company that employed her. Like, she has a personal driver, she has an apartment, and she's doing very well. So outside your curriculum, don't graduate and come out and keep going from one company to the other with your brown envelope seeking for a job. beyond the curriculum, what can you do?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to apologize if it really seemed like I was dragging the curriculum, but I wasn't. I was trying to elaborate on how the implementation, as you said, because I'm not really open to, I've not seen the curriculum before, but this is what I'm seeing in schools. And so I was talking about what I was seeing in schools, and from what I'm seeing in schools, that there's no much difference yearly. You're not seeing the impact anymore. And where I was headed towards was that we have a stereotyped mindset where there are a lot of times that they're telling you, go to school because you're nothing without school. Understandable, school is important, but you can still make it outside of school. And when you go to school, it's not about the grades, it's more about here. What are you keeping inside? And that's where I was headed to. When we are being taught, and when this time around, I'm not talking about the curriculum in school, I'm talking about the curriculum at home. When we are being taught at home, a lot of parents neglect to teach their children that as much as education is good and as much as you should go to school, you should learn for you and not just for the result. You find that some children will come back home and there's a fight blossoming between them and their parents. Why? Because the parent is saying, the person who is taking first position in class, how does he have two heads? And are you having... do you get? And already it is detrimental to this child, and this child is just thinking, by crook or by hook, I have to get a good result.
Money on you. You're
I
calling
have
me
to get a
this
good
kind
result.
of grade.
So it's not
Something is wrong with any parent that would do that to the child.
But-
That's
Exactly.
But you see, Joyce, you see, sometimes I see it. You see, any person that is talking is talking from the angle of his exposure and his
Very
experience.
true, very
You
true.
understand? Because you rightly said earlier that you stand out from where we are talking about. But I just see you just talking
exactly where
almost
we're
like
heading to.
you finish your part.
No.
But let me say this. Let me say this. You see, if you calculate our number in Nigeria and you check the number of the elite, those that go to school, out of the 200 million, how many percent can you give?
I don't understand the question.
No, out of the 200 million population
Uh,
that we have in Nigeria,
uh,
like how many percent will you give to the literate, those that you will say they went to school? Do you get it?
I don't get
So-
it.
Okay, shall we talk percentage of workers? Like you can say, okay, in the population of Nigeria,
Okay, we have more out of school or school dropouts
Like-
than more than
like if we
educated
are
ones.
to give people that went to school a percentage out of the 200 million that we have, how many do
we
you
have
think?
we have less of people that went to school. It depends on the type of education. Well, if it's a four
We are
walls
talking class now. Say we are
classroom,
talking education,
No,
class. Class. Let's talk class
Okay.
now. We are talking curriculum, class. We are talking certificates now. You say if you are keeping your certificate, that means it's school, right?
Yeah, and
So,
it also depends on the level of education you're talking about. If it is the primary school, you know that there's a certain level, and if it is the secondary school, some
Okay,
people
let's
have
say
reached the secondary
diploma.
school.
Diploma, the one that is a certificate. Because secondary school, they do employ people with secondary school certificates.
See, let me tell you,
You
the
understand?
truth is this, but people just excuse. I see how a lot of people excuse their failure and blame it on other
No,
people.
I'm
Yeah.
going somewhere.
See,
That one is a
I've
fact.
heard over time, even when I was in school, how people say, just more it's people with even third class that end up getting job. You that have first class, you will not get job,
It's
and
a
all of
it's
that.
a mindset.
So people use it to console themselves, their unseriousness. And then you also have people that you know how I say motivation for people that didn't go to school is to see people that went to school and they are
And
unemployed.
they're unemployed.
That's their motivation. See, I've seen people that went to school, that studied, that got good grades, that worked for it, and they got employed. How can you go study like you didn't just go to buy the grade, and you will not have a skill that the world would want? It's almost impossible. Except you went there, you memorized, and you got the grade. You went for interview, you couldn't even defend what you have. That's when nobody will pick you. But if you go there, you learn. Like you went, you learn, unlearn, and relearn, and you left the school with a skill there's no way that you will be unemployed. See, we are always trained to think that that's another problem we have or challenge, that after the school you go out to look for a job, not that you can create the job. But if you go to the school and you acquire the knowledge, you go extra mile to also find out, study, do research on your own. When you are coming out of school, you are not thinking of going to look for a job, but you're thinking of creating job. Even if you have to work for people, you will find a way of creating your own wealth. I know people that we went to school together, they, from before they finished, they already made up their minds that they are not working for anybody. They are going to establish their business. They will rather employ other people. And today they are doing very well. So while some are thinking, oh, you are just wasting your time if you go to school. See, if you go to the school, not just as formality or because emphasis is on it, but because you know something is taking you there and you're deliberate about it, even in your business, you will stand out. That's why I say, if you're dropping, if today as a DJ and I studied mass communication, I'm dropping my certificate aside, I will still earn a living, because the Owambe will not stop. The birthday parties will not stop. I will always be needed. At that point, it's not my certificate. When somebody wants to hire the service of a DJ, they will not be asking what's your level of education. No, they will not be asking at that point. But what they want is, can this guy play very well? Does he have our kind of songs? That's what they are going to be asking for. That's why I was saying, don't cage yourself. Don't cage. And they are not teaching. They are not teaching us this. I've seen curriculums different from primary school, for secondary school, even for tertiary. It's complete. It's comprehensive. But what we don't have, we write beautiful policies, but no implementation strategies. Like, we don't carry even the implementers. We don't have what it takes to implement. Some of our doctors are frustrated and going for strike. Why? It's not like they cannot, like they don't know what to do, but they don't have the equipment for them to even practice. That's why when they go out there, because they have the knowledge, you see them doing very well. They are excelling. So don't cage yourself. They did not give me this. They did not give me this. Some lecturers will tell you, we're not here to spoon feed you. At this stage, if you're in a tertiary institution, you should be able to be that inquisitive that you want to know, if I do this, what will be the result. You don't wait for people. Why do we do research? But because of how we have caged our mind and made everything just formalities, we copy and paste. You graduate from school, assignments you don't do, tests you don't do, you don't show up for lectures. When you graduate, the government is this, the government cannot provide job. See, the situation will not even get better. That is the good news. It will not even get better. It is you now that have to change your mindset. Start thinking incremental wealth. Start thinking, what can I do differently? See, like I said, there are things that you will never find in the curriculum that you're thinking, so this is the reality, but they never told us in school. Yes, they will never tell you in school. Some of this learning, it will only take place by experience, by exposure. So don't cage yourself. Think globally and act locally.
Okay. Can I drop my point?
You can drop your
It's
point.
because it's from my point he picked, and I listened to her keenly. Perfect. Everything you said, you are on point. You are on point.
But
No, there's no but. There's no but. But still,
But-
the issue of, no. There's
not-
there's no but. Let's not go there, because if I said but now, it will be like we're arguing. I'm defending, you are defending. All that we are saying, we are creating balance here. You say you can't totally blame the government, and you cannot totally blame the masses. That's why I asked of the percentage of the people that are learned. And you remember from my earlier point, I said some of these things are being done deliberately. And if you look at the level of our poverty, it's not that we cannot be liberated. It's not that the government is not capable to take care of our educational system. Like you said, wonderful curriculum, but the implementation.
Slim.
You understand? So will you tell me that they don't know that they're supposed to carry the implementers along? Is a question that we have to answer, so that the relevant authority will answer this question. Not for us, for the people. Like I said, for now the question is coming timely. Why? Because of the people that are coming behind. Your difference with somebody that is outside there that is struggling is information, Joyce. It's information. Yes. And then if you look at it, Okay, even the few that today will
Will
say
the information come to that person?
no, no, you can't say no, but there are some. The information have to get to them. If you look at it, this country, it will shock you that some places, like Donkey, for instance, I'm not looking down on them, but like Donkey, for instance, you don't go there with, you can only fly and land, or you trek. Even the donkeys that pass through that difficult terrain, they only carry goods. Yes. Even if you are sick, you are up there, they will bring you. They have to tie you like the normal way they carry cups. You are living, yes, that's how they will tie you with sticks straight. And people will carry you. Like you will see how they are passing people and someone that is sick terribly because they are coming down looking for an access. That is how terrible some terrains are when it comes to information, man. So there are children there. They are not exposed to this. You know, think about the children. Think about the parent. They are not even exposed to the children to even give them the good curriculum that is obtainable within the family circle.
But you see what they are learning.
Yeah.
The difference is that these children are being taught hard work. So when information gets to them, they will utilize it well. But you see where we in the urban environment are missing it. Is that hard work? Sometimes the hard work is not being taught. The essence of you going to learn for learning itself, and not just to go and get a certificate, is not there. But you see, a child that is coming out from that place would understand it easier. There's a way that when this child gets information, he ends up utilizing it, because they have taught him over time that you need to work for yourself. That's the importance of growing. I'm not saying that the government that there's no work needed to be done here. Yes, there's really work needed to be done, and there are places like that. It's not just Duncan Hills that you just mentioned.
That is there.
They're always
is owned by EQUA. and now there are people there that they are doing great. I think one of the WAEC, one of these years, I can't remember the year exactly, but one of the guy in Taraba, did well in his WAEC, and he's coming from that particular place. And I think he started his primary school around age 10 or thereabout. Like 10, that's when he started primary one. And there's one that, he's grown up, like he's 15. That's when they started like putting him through. Now, I think he's in one of the polytechnic, but maybe by now he may have been graduated. And I engaged with the guy. Do you know what he told me? He said he wants to finish so that he will go back to the community, so that they will see that he's a product of the community, that anything you say you want to do in life is possible. Like I was challenged, and I was impressed. I said, God will see you through. And you see, credit to EQUA, because as I'm speaking, the only secondary school, the only school that is there is owned by EQUA. And you can see how difficult the terrain is. So sometimes, you see, the issue of information, it's very important. Some parents, and the way we are being stereotyped in Africa, it even affects us, even in the family. You see, some of us were privileged because our parents are learned. So they will give you that guide, like, okay, this is what to do, this is what not to do if you do this. But even the ones that are learned, they will tell you, in my house is lawyers I want to see and doctors. So you can see the level of ignorance even in the ones that are even learned, because he's not seeing the potential of that child being skillful in the DJ, whatever that you talked about, or being skillful in sculpting.
That's why I said earlier on that emphasis have shifted from productivity to actually certificate.
Honestly,
no wonder you find some parents, if the child, nobody wants to pay school fees, and imagine you're paying 1.5 million and the child comes with last position. At that point, the parent is not even thinking of how many are you people, what are even your grades.
I hope my child is not watching
you get. So see, we have to be real. We have to be real. Everybody, like I will always say, there you have the infinite capacity to be great, to give results. You would not say that because you're the Nigerian school you attended, did not help you. The curriculum was bad.
It's
That's
not-
why you are failing.
It's not an
I told
excuse.
you that there are Nigerians that
Mm.
went to the same institution that now outside the country they are being celebrated.
Mm.
Why? Because they were determined. They knew that it is not enough what they got,
Sure.
and there's need for them to do more.
Mm.
And so they paid. They paid the price by even studying outside the school hours, so that
And by
they
watching today's life.
you get so
And-
that they can also
and,
be
and
great.
interestingly,
So-
for some teachers, they always drum in
Mm.
your head that as much as we are giving you something in school, please go out and read. One lecturer of ours comes back and says, before he begins his class, he's like, okay, so I've given you the course outline
Course outline.
and we're discussing this topic. What have you gotten so far? So he is already pushing you forward to go research for yourself, learn for yourself before you come to class, because he knows that what he's going to give you is not all that is there. But you see, a lot of us don't even care. We just decide that, oh no, this lecturer is just disturbing.
And it goes a long way to show your mindset.
Yes, exactly.
Because even if you were born in a household where they take handwork, skills, and all of that very seriously, you can still decide not to take it seriously.
Mindset.
So it is from your mindset, whether from childhood or from the tertiary institution, from secondary school, at whatever stage, if you have that mindset and you finish school, that certificate will not even be anything to you. It will not mean anything to you, because with or without it, you're already excelling in whatever place you find yourself. If you're thrown to any land you don't know about, you will still excel. Why? Because you have that mindset. So whether information gets to you or not, you have that mindset, you will still excel
In
and
fact,
do better.
Abdulbima, I watched one of the iconic women in Nigeria talk, and she said anytime she even goes to go through her, like if she has to go through her CV, is a distraction for her. That's like past tense. She's always thinking of what can I do. So as I'm a presenter now, what can I do? If I'm
What am
thinking
I
that this
doing
is my
next?
sum total, I've failed. I've failed. So outside now we're talking about work. We're already working, but think beyond it. So don't cage yourself to curriculum. What's the difference between the developed nations and the developing nations? Is because some of them have decided that, see, we are going after these skills. We are going to put effort, and that's why they are where they are today. Nigeria as the country, we have everything it takes for us to blossom and be at the top. But why? We don't even invest in human capital development. Even when you have people that have the skills, they don't have the the platforms for them to do well. So if you even have to excel, you have to dare it. You have to scare your fear for you to take the risks for you to actually excel. So we need to put more emphasis on human capital development. There should be emphasis of like the thinking outside the box, beyond the curriculum. What can I do as individuals? To what gives you joy? What do you have interest? What area of your life are you passionate about? It might not even be in anything that has to do with what you study.
Yeah.
You might find that joy outside the curriculum. What you actually study, that's where you find that fulfillment. There are people like the lady I gave an example with. She studied like a science, one of the science courses, but today she's working in a cosmetic company that pays her well. She finds joy doing this. It makes her feel fulfilled when she sees you looking all beautiful and all. So what area of your life are you passionate about beyond the certificate, beyond your current level now? Because some people are thinking, okay, they are graduated, they are working, they have reached the peak. What can you do if management decision affects what got you employed? What can you do to earn a living? Because you will continue to, bills will be there. Bills does not care whether you're working or you're not working, it will be there. So beyond your certificate now, what can you do if government policies, management decisions or the challenges of life rendered your certificate useless? What can you do? These are questions that we should be asking ourselves, and we should be thinking. Think about if all of us at a younger stage of our life decided that this is what we are going to do, and we keep pursuing it. A story was told of a woman that was really angry. She's a widow, and then she has about 3 sons who were assisting her in her place of business. That's the husband's business before he died. And eventually she had to send them to school. They went to school and they graduated. She had expectation that after school they would get job. So 1 year passed and no job. All the boys came back to the business, and she was sharing with another woman that she feels pained. She's very angry that she has spent 4 years paying school fees, and they came back to the business, that she would have used the money and invested in the business, then everybody they continue. Now what's the essence of allowing them go to school and then they are now back into the business? But the woman told her that don't worry, the knowledge they have acquired is going to impact on your business, so don't feel sad. So that is the same thing with people you find in business today. This person is doing this business and is excelling, this other person is doing the same business and is not excelling in the business. Information gap. This person has acquired a knowledge that has made is an added advantage, and is utilizing it. He's marketing, he's going after his customer, he has built customer relationship, he's so keen about the value proposition that is given out there, while the other person that is doing the same business is just thinking of profit. What will I get out of there? He's not thinking of giving good product, he's not thinking of the value, he's just thinking of what I will get. Sooner or later the people that patronize him will leave. But this other person whose concentration is value, what will I give, customer relationship, what how happy will this person be when he use my product? You see him excelling. How did he get the information of concentrating on value proposition? Education, knowledge, information. So don't think that, oh, school is all useless. If you think that is the business, you do it without knowledge, your business will not blossom. So even the people that we're mentioning as the richest people, oh, because they are school dropouts, check who are the people managing their companies and their businesses. Check even their drivers. Some of them are master degree holders. They need that information. They need that knowledge, because you should be able to forecast your business. You'll be able to plan your business. You'll be able to put some strategies that would work. Some of us are so quick to say, now business, so I want to start this business without forecast, without seeing the visibility, what's the viability, what's the desirability. You just start. But you see that person that has the information, he knows that first before I start, what is the feasibility, what is the desirability, what's the viability of that business. So think outside the curriculum. There are some things you will not find there. You see those people that are professors and lecturers, when the ASU strike came, they didn't see it in their curriculum when they were in school that eventually there will be strike for 9 months and they won't have pay. It wasn't in the curriculum, but it happened. Life challenges happen and they had to think of something else to do. So while you are holding on to what you have right now, what can you do beyond it? That should be the concentration. And know that education is not just about the four walls. Like we always say, as far as an opportunity presents itself for you to learn, for you to improve and be better, you are being educated. Whether classroom, whether skills, whether entrepreneurship, or whether traveling, all these are experiences and they add up to our information. So don't limit yourself that I've gone to school, I have PhD now. So somebody say you are a professor of English, yet your pocket is empty. And then we should not even gauge or weigh education or intelligence by how you speak. When the bills come, it's not that English that will pay the bills for you. It's your ability to think straight that will pay the bills for you. So don't say, I've reached this stage of my life, it is final for me. Strive to learn, strive to be better, have growth mindset. That is what will make you to be up and above. What annoys you about curriculum? Well, people have already said all the annoyances. But in 1 minute, what annoys you about the curriculum?
It's seeing a beautiful curriculum. Like you say, we have wonderful, beautiful designs that are out there, but the implementation, I think that's just what annoys me. To see a very beautiful curriculum, but no implementation.
That everyone is not being carried along.
I would like to, I think mine would be that you are in the school and not really open to learning.
And I feel sad to see that emphasis is on certificate and not productivity. When imagine seeing a curriculum, but the emphasis there is not on productivity. It's a sad one. It's really a sad one. Thank you all for doing this with me. And to our viewers out there, I hope, let me use the debaters English, hope you are not confused, but you are convinced that you should think beyond the curriculum. Thank you for doing this with us. Until we come your way tomorrow, same time, you have a blessed day. Bye.